LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers recently exercised his $52.6 million player option for the 2025-26 season. For James, this was the right idea. He's still one of the better players in the league, and it isn't like another team had the money to give him. However, after James exercised his $52.6 million player option, Rich Paul made some telling comments to ESPN. He noted that James wants to compete for a championship, and he knows that the Lakers are building for the future. He then added that he's appreciative of the partnership that they've had with Los Angeles, but James and Paul want to ensure that James is getting the best for his buck at this stage of his career, regarding trying to win a championship. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul told ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie, Bus, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. The blockbuster trade idea. Following those comments, some have suggested that James wants to leave the Los Angeles Lakers. If that's the case, there will be many teams around the league interested. However, one of them makes more sense than any other, and that's the Golden State Warriors. If the Warriors were to make a trade for James, it'd have to be very creative. When searching for a potential deal, Kevin O'Connor recently brought one up. He added that because the Phoenix Suns and Houston Rockets trade hasn't been finalized yet for Kevin Durant, it's possible that James could be included in a trade involving 4 teams that would send him to the Warriors. Obviously, this would be a massive deal, but it's still something interesting to consider. If you really want to get crazy, the KD to Houston deal is not done yet. You could add 3rd teams or 4th teams. Phoenix wanted Butler. So maybe you send LeBron and Bronny James to Golden State, Jimmy Butler to Phoenix, Kevin Durant to Houston, and then Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks to the Lakers, he said. Are the Warriors contenders with LeBron? James has been on record saying multiple times that all he wants to do is win a championship. He added that any season that he and the Los Angeles Lakers don't win at all is a disappointment. The Golden State Warriors aren't exactly in a position to win it all right now, but if they added James, it's possible that the older crew could get the job done again if everything breaks their way. Nonetheless, they have to hope that plenty goes right, and that includes just getting a deal done in the first place. Every season that I did not make it to the finals or did not win the championship has been a disappointment, James said. So, it'd be the same for me. It'd be the same off-season of disappointment and unfulfillment, having an opportunity to play longer and give yourself an opportunity to play for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Nothing changes for me. The Chicago Bulls remain linked to a possible sign-and trade for Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, but an unavoidable obstacle is complicating matters. Chicago Sports Network's Casey Johnson reported on the issue, and just where things stand on the long-rumored interest by the Bulls in the former number 7 overall pick of the 2021 draft and NBA champion, Kuminga, as rumors will not go away. So far, there has not been much traction circulating either. I'm here to tell you that I have not heard any traction on a sign-and-trade deal to the Bulls. That's not to say it won't happen. I'm just saying that I have not heard it, and I want to bore you with a little CBA minutiae here. There's a thing called base year compensation. It sounds very boring because it is, Johnson said on the Fast Break on July 1st. If Jonathan Kuminga signs a large deal in a sign-and-trade with the Golden State Warriors, let's just say $25 million for a starting salary, he counts FO $25 million going out to the team that he's being traded to, and the Warriors can only take half that salary back in a trade. That would be $12.5 million if my math's correct. So, there goes the Nikola Vucevic contract. Does not fit in a base year compensation trade with Jonathan Kuminga. Kobe White could fit, but I would be surprised if the Bulls trade Kobe White for Jonathan Kuminga. So again, we'll see where this goes. But that's where things stand. Kuminga averaged 15.3 points for 0.6 rebounds and 2.2 assists with the Warriors during the 2024-25 regular season. Speculation over Kuminga possibly landing with the Bulls has been persistent. The Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat are two teams to monitor as potential sign-and-trade candidates for Kuminga, league sources told Hoops Hype. Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto wrote on June 16th, noting a return to Golden State is not out of the question. Bulls subject to NBA artifact rule in Jonathan Kuminga. A sign-and-trade is actually the only instance where base year compensation even exists in the NBA. That leaves Kuminga, the Bulls, and the Warriors subject to a relatively unimpactful rule. Base year compensation, BYC, is mostly an artifact of previous collective bargaining agreements. Its intent was to prevent teams from signing free agents to new contracts with salaries specifically intended to help facilitate trades. BYC was triggered when a team was over the cap and re-signed a player using the Larry Bird or early bird exception with a raise over 20%. NBA salary cap FAQ's Larry Kuhn wrote. The 2011 CBA mostly eliminated BYC. In fact, the term base year compensation was removed from the agreement entirely. The rules formerly known as BYC now apply under just one circumstance, during sign-and-trade transactions. Kuminga is coming off a 4-year, $24.8 million contract. Kuminga is also a restricted free agent this offseason. That means the Warriors can match any offer sheet that he signs with another team, such as the Bulls, within 48 hours. Bulls sign-and trade for Warriors Jonathan Kuminga may be dead in water. The situation is hardly dire for the Bulls to complete a trade with the Warriors for Kuminga, who turns 23 in October. It remains a challenging transaction to complete, though. The Warriors would be a tax team, but below the second apron, following the sign portion of the deal. So, they could accept 110% of Kuminga's outgoing salary. That is, rather than the $125% plus $100,000 a non-taxpayer can take back. They can also include up to 2 minimum contracts to facilitate the deal. However, the Bulls would need to send out at least $20 million in salary. That would run afoul of the Warriors' restrictions in Johnson's scenario. Even with the rules allowing teams to include minimum salaries, the math for the Bulls completing a sign-and-trade for Kuminga appears unworkable without a third team getting involved. The Golden State Warriors have made it clear they plan to be active in free agency as they look to bolster their championship-caliber roster. They could be in line to land unrestricted free agent Al Horford, and a deal could come sooner than expected. According to NBA insider Brett Siegel, Horford has been in talks with Golden State, and he could become their next starting center. They've been in talks with Al Horford for the last couple of days, Siegel wrote on X in response to a question about the Warriors' potential off-season moves. It could happen as early as tonight. Ball is in Horford's court and what he ultimately decides. Horford averaged 9 points, 6.2 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.4 blocks in 60 games for the Boston Celtics this past season, and was a key piece in them winning the 2024 NBA championship. If he does leave, he would join Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis as another player not to return to Boston next season. Horford as a veteran addition. Horford spent the past 4 seasons with the Celtics, where he anchored their defensive dominance during their title run in 2024. At 39 years old, he isn't the same player he was at his peak, but his three-point shooting and defensive prowess could be extremely valuable for a Golden State team that has seen immense success when they thrive in those aspects of the game. Horford would likely come in on a smaller deal or veteran contract, but the fact that he is an unrestricted free agent means that the Warriors likely won't have to give up a ton or any assets to add the center. Sam Amick of The Athletic reported that the Los Angeles Lakers, along with the Warriors, are 2 top teams poised to make a run at signing Horford. Sources tell me and at Dan Woik Sports that Al Horford is also under serious consideration by the Lakers, in addition to the Warriors, Amick wrote on X. Horford is a free agent coming off a 2-year, $19 million extension he signed with Boston in 2022. While his veteran leadership and experience would be valuable to either the Lakers or Warriors, his joining either team would likely mean a drastic drop in pay. Warriors offseason so far. Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. made it clear that the team would attack free agency in hopes of adding pieces to their roster. They selected 2 players in the second round of the 2025 NBA draft, but Dunleavy said that expectations would be low for their rookies while they prioritize adding veterans to pair alongside Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. They also have yet to decide on the future of restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga, who is reportedly on the trade market. Kuminga has made it clear that he is open to playing on a different team and taking on a bigger role after playing as a rotational piece for Golden State through his first 4 NBA seasons. Most recently, the Warriors lost Kevin Looney in free agency to the New Orleans Pelicans. With him gone, Horford could step in right away to become their new backup or even starting center. Golden State has made massive moves in free agency in the past, and adding a player like Horford would likely increase their chances to compete for a title over the next few seasons in a loaded Western Conference. The Warriors lost in the second round of the 2025 NBA playoffs to the Minnesota Timberwolves in a series that saw Curry play just one game after going down with an injury.